Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 30-year-old from, I think, Manchester, England. His hockey journey has taken him to the chocolatey Storm Shelter and Sheffield, and I know he won a tourney in Holland, playing up an age group. But he is best known as One Smack in the boxing world, and did just that on Saturday night in Liverpool, running amok in the first round, having his way with the Belgian champion, and gave him more than one smack just for fun. He's had a lot of belts, winning is fun. Started with the International Classic Challenge title in the Cruiserweight division, then the British Classic title, then the IBF European Cruiserweight title, then became the OIBO champ. He is currently 21-2 in pro and seems ready to take on anyone in the world. And I know I am not getting in the ring with him. Welcome to the shed, Jack Massey.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
You've definitely done your research there.
I got a good research team, man. A little different
Definitely.
doing you though, but when the research team got hot, I think you got an elite prospects page in hockey. Did you play under
Yeah,
16 for Sheffield?
I did. Yes. Yeah. So I started off. I played roller hockey first. Started off playing roller hockey. That's how I got into Manchester. Some of the guys who used to Glossop Devils. Uh, they used them. The guys used to go and watch Storm, and that's how. I got introduced to Manchester Storm and went watching them as a kid. So I
Well,
was one of the young fans asking him to throw pucks over the top, and we actually used to. We found out the players used to go to the Hard Rock Cafe after the games, and we used to go in there and mither all the Storm players and asking for signatures on the shirts and stuff.
so you're just like every other hockey kid. You're just like
That's
me.
it. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely.
When you know where the players go, you want to go see them. And that's what
That's
I
it.
love about hockey is especially the UK league, actually. I don't think it's not the same in the NHL or in North America for that matter. The UK hockey league, the fans interact with kids or
Yeah,
fans, everybody way more the players do. And it
yeah.
makes it like a family, and it makes the kids like the players more and get more into it, right?
That's it. Yeah, definitely. They look up to him. Being that young, you look up to the players, don't you? So it's they're all good role models.
Well, and I'm sure you're doing the same in boxing because what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. You've got to do your bit and be a role model for the up and coming kids, as they
uh,
say. So yeah,
well, I get into how we know each other. You were just at the chocolatey storm shelter, and you dropped the puck, and it just warmed my heart seeing like a world famous boxer dropping the puck. And the captain of the Storm, Critchlow, I don't know if you noticed the logo above his name. That's my logo. Two L's and Hockey Tails,
oh,
right on the back of the captain's jersey.
I didn't notice it on the night, but to be honest, I did listen to your podcast with him. Yeah, so I got it heard mentioned. But oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
about as
was
fun
good.
as
It
it
was a good
gets.
night. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. It was yeah, I've not been to a hockey game for quite some years now, and it just brought a lot of memories back. Even just the smell of the ice and just everything. It was yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, and my partner as well. It was her first time, so she loved it. So she wants to go back.
Well, that's awesome. And I don't think they won, so you never did see the chocolate, eh?
No, unfortunately not. It was a
Uh,
good game though. It was a good game.
well, they got to earn it, and I think it's so fun that the fans get it, and
Mm.
that there's only chocolate if you win.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can understand going back into the arena, smelling the ice, and like the barn is what I call it. Because
yeah,
growing up a hockey player, and then when you get out of the game, it is neat that when you walk into arena, the smell like brings back a lot of memories.
yeah. It does. It's just got that smell about it. It's yeah, it's a funny one, but yeah, it's good to watch.
Well, I get into also how we know each other is when I posted that I was trying to get you on. Rob Smith reached out from Sheffield, and he's doing some amazing things with Andy's Men's Club, and he's a shed guy. And he actually wrote to me saying how great of a person you are, but that your family is. And he said he coached you when you were a young buck. And he said your
Yeah, that's
old
right.
man is as entertaining as it gets on a bus trip.
Yeah, everyone loved my dad on on the hockey tours and stuff. He's My dad's was a rugby guy back in the day, so he's got all these sort of funny little things that he does, and yeah, he keeps everyone entertained. So it was yeah, we had some good days. It was back in the hockey days when I played for Sheffield. All the trips away to Holland, Canada, and Germany and places like that. It's
You went to
yeah,
Canada and Germany?
some of the best days of my life in playing
Where
hockey. It was
where'd you go in Canada?
we went to Toronto.
Really?
Yeah,
My
so
neck of the woods.
that was a good experience. I must have been 12 at the time, but we spent Christmas and New Year there. Um, but yeah, it was good, great experience. I skated on the harbour. We only played one hockey game, to be honest. Or did we play two? I can't remember now, but we played an orphanage, believe it or not. But at the time, the hockey gear was really, really cheap out there, so we all sort of went over, donated our hockey gear to the orphanage, and then bought most of our own hockey gear over in Canada because it was quite a lot cheaper
It would
than
be.
the UK. So
Yeah. Well,
at the
that's
time,
pretty
it's
neat, and that's
yeah,
cool that the whoever set that up for you kids, that like they set up a lifetime memory, right?
yeah, definitely. It was one of the mums and dads what organised it all, and it was yeah, we got to see a lot. We went to Niagara Falls, CN Tower, and it was a great trip.
That's
Good memories.
awesome. And that's I'm coaching under 13 boys now, so I mean, I
Oh,
get
really? Wow.
I get it, and I like to try and make memories, and hopefully I can get the team next year, because my goal in life is I want to take kids from Canada to Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I went to Western Michigan University in NCAA, and show them what NCAA hockey's like in the States next season, and I think that would be fun. That would be a life
Yeah,
memory for
yeah,
them.
definitely, absolutely. Yeah,
Where'd you go in Germany?
it was. I was quizzing my old fella the other night about it, and because I was young, I kind of forget.
Hmm.
I actually went to Germany without my mum and dad. The coaches took us. I'm pretty sure it's a small town called Fussen.
Fusen. Yep.
Possibly, yeah, Fusen, and somewhere else. I can't remember the name of the other place, but yeah.
Yeah, I spent 6 years in
uh,
Germany. Ich kann sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch.
oh,
I played
speak
six
a bit of
years
German.
there. So yeah, I know the area a
Oh no
bit.
way. Yeah, yeah. I believe it's only a small place as well, Fusen, is it?
um, yeah, it's a ski
Yeah,
town, I think.
yeah, I think so. I think
Um,
so.
anyways, on that team that went to Holland when your old man was so much fun on the bus, which I know about because my old man went on the Cardiff Devils Red Army bus when he came over
Oh
to visit, and he became a legend in one trip. Genes are a thing, I guess. He likes to have
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. You got it, haven't you? You got
But
it.
your goalie was Ben Bounds.
Yes, that's right.
Small
That's
world
right.
this is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely is.
He probably
But
didn't
that
have a
was
tramp stamp back then.
I don't know.
He's got one now.
Probably not. But I think that was when I played. So I was, how old would I have been? I think I played for the under. I think that was the under 16s because that was my brother's team. My brother's a couple of years older, I think. But I might
Um,
be wrong.
well, it's pretty
I might
neat
be wrong.
that you're like a boxing champion, and we've both won hockey championships with Ben Bounds.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So other ways we know each other is we chatted. I think it was the day of your fight or the night before, and I thought,
Yeah,
wow,
I think
I
it was.
I'm messaging with a boxer like right before his fight, and then you went out there and absolutely ran amok, huh?
Yeah, it didn't last long. Didn't last
No.
long.
When I watched the highlight there, your first 1-2, it it didn't look like you hit him flush, but then it staggered him just from the 1-2, eh?
Yeah, so it was sort of like the jab hit his guard, and I just dropped down a little bit more with the right, and the right. If you watch it in slow motion, the right hand just catches him
Goes
underneath
right
the
through.
guard, catches him on the chin, stuns him. I see his legs wobble, buckle a little bit, and
Yeah.
he sort of goes on the move a little bit, but I catch him in the corner, and then I could
Yeah.
tell by his eyes that he was he was still buzzed. So
Yeah, you could see it in his
yes,
legs as soon as you hit him. Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
you got the twinkle toes going there. But yeah, you did go finish him, and that must be a fun feeling when you know you got a guy.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, a little bit of killer instinct there, but
You were really
but it's
chucking him. I wouldn't want to get in a fight with you. Oh gosh,
no,
but
I'm a gentle giant outside the ring.
man, that's what a lot of hockey fighters are like too. They're the nicest people
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
ice, but then you get them on the ice and they just,
yeah.
turn it up.
You got to have that switch. You got to have a switch.
Yeah. So, that was in Liverpool. Like, how many fans are
Yes.
in that barn when you're fighting?
So there was, I think, for the last fight, there was about 7,000. I think it's a similar size to Manchester Arena. But it was quite early on when I fought, so I don't think that was 7,000. There was probably 3,000 maybe when I was in there. So yeah, it was
I've been to
good.
UFC fights before, and yeah, I know what you mean. Where it's not full like the start of the fights,
Yeah,
and then by the end it's
people come
full.
for the main events, don't they? And the co-main events, and
I
yeah,
never understood that. I bought tickets for the fights, and like I actually went
yeah, that's
when
it.
I was injured in Germany and hurt my knee. I for my wife gave it to me for my birthday. I was right into the UFC. We flew over to
Yeah,
Manchester and watched Bisping fight,
oh
and I watched every fight. We were there for all of them, and it's like, well, I bought tickets for
yeah,
all the fights, and man, the undercard fights are usually the best ones.
yeah. That's it. People are missing out. It's an event at the end of the day. It's if you're gonna go, but I think people like to book meals or go for a drink before, because obviously in the arenas the drinks are quite expensive. You're probably paying about £7 to £9 for a pint of beer
That's enough.
in the man in the arena. So yeah, I think people get tanked up before
That makes
and then
sense.
head down.
Yeah.
But yeah, or
Uh,
just sneak some cans in, you'll be all right.
well, geez, I got a lot of questions to ask because I always have just usually hockey guys on. I did have a cycler on once, Luke Rowe from Cardiff, and he was a dandy. And it's
All
so
right.
interesting meeting guys that get to the top of their profession or their sport and to pick their brain. So I got lots of questions.
Yeah, definitely. Fire
Is it
away.
frustrating that your fight only lasted that long for how much work you would have put into getting ready?
Yeah, it was a little bit. I was a little bit frustrated after, but I had to sort of give myself a bit of
Pat on the back, like
bit,
actually you did what you're
yeah,
supposed to do.
yeah. So obviously I trained through Christmas, and obviously missed out on. I like to sort of let my hair down over Christmas time and have a drink and eat some nice food and chocolates and stuff. But yeah, I missed last Christmas because I thought literally it was probably like this exactly the same. I think last year it was the 21st of Jan, so I missed last Christmas, but that fight was up at heavyweight, so I could sort of eat for that one. But for this one, because I was dropping weight, I couldn't really go mad on the food. So yeah, it's quite tough. And then obviously, training through Christmas, and then the fight only lasts 1 minute 50, whatever it was. it's,
And
it's quite
how long is
frustrating,
your
but
training camp then? Like you said, it was through Christmas, but like when do you start training for a fight on January 23rd? Like when does camp start?
so it depends on the round, because this was a 6 round fight. Usually it's a little bit less. Usually if it's 12 round fight, you're looking at probably 12 weeks. But I'm always in the gym ticking over, staying fit. But for a 12 round fight, it's usually 10 to 12 weeks. But for this fight, it was probably eight to 10 weeks
So,
training camp. So.
but like so what's a typical day during that 8 to 10 weeks or 10 to 12 weeks? Like how hard is it? Like obviously you probably start slow and then work your way
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah, definitely. So you start off obviously when you're sparring and doing pad work and bad work, your rounds start off, you know, less rounds, and then sort of gradually get more and more. So it depends. It depends what you're doing, whether you're sparring. So you'll start off sparring maybe 4 rounds at the start of camp, and then if you're fighting a 12 round fight, you'll finish off on 12 rounds of sparring. Sometimes 3 times a week. But yeah,
I'm
it's
just
hard graft.
thinking, like, so you're sparring. That means guys have to get in the ring with you to help you get ready, eh? I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw what happened.
Yeah, it's
So you must have some
I
good
mean,
teammates that are just eating punches, eh?
definitely, yeah, yeah. But it's we all help each other out. It's yeah. Sometimes you have to pay guys to come in and spar with you or whatever, but it's
Um,
I mean it's good experience for them. It's I mean sparring's learning as well, so it's a lot of learning going on and learning your trade. And I mean there's no better way than learning how to fight than actually fighting. So
I
it's
agree. It's the same as like when you practice, you probably want to bring in good guys, right? Because you
that's
want
it. Yeah,
it's got to
yeah,
be tough guys. It's the same as in hockey. It's like when you get in practice with the best and you see some of the little tricks they do, the little moves they
yeah,
make,
yeah,
then you can figure out how to do it yourself, right?
yeah. That's it. You're picking things up and learning off them.
That's kind of what I do in the shed right now. I bring out all these hockey minds that are good people in hockey, and I try to pick their
Yeah,
brains so I can become a better coach, you know?
yeah, definitely.
How much weight do you have to cut to, it's 200 pounds you got to get to?
Yeah, depends. I'm not too bad to be honest. I'm sort of as what you call a natural cruiserweight. For this one, probably had to lose maybe a stone,
What's that, like
maybe a
14
stone.
pounds? Isn't that?
Yeah, yeah, 14 pounds over probably 6 to 8 weeks. So it's not it. It comes down naturally, and I've got a like a meal prep sponsor who helps me out. So my food is always so
Do you
like
want,
if I'm
you can
eating
shout them
clean.
out, free ads in my shed all day long if you want
Yeah,
to show
UF
UF.
prep meal preps. Yeah, UF. So that's a gym in Stalybridge. But yeah, it just helps having a meal prep. Um,
Definitely.
so you're not raiding the fridges and going home and seeing what you need to cook and you end up
Yeah,
having
no,
something
it
naughty
definitely
or
would.
whatever.
And I know what it's like because I don't, you probably can't see my whole physique, but I was a professional hockey player that doesn't look like a professional hockey player. So there were a few summers where I had to cut some weight, just so they would be happy when I showed up. And I had to watch what I ate every meal. I had to have a plan. I had to have groceries, you
Yeah,
know, and I had
yeah,
to
yeah.
have the right things in the fridge, and you couldn't cheat or else it wasn't going to happen, right?
No, no, that's it. You can't cut corners. But if you've got it there in your fridge and it's there made, it's a lot easier.
I
Hell
agree.
of a lot easier.
Are you a sauna guy? I know cut and weight guys are sauna guys. I'm a big sauna enthusiast.
No, so I don't really have to cut. Like you say about your MMA guys, or some of them, they get in the hot baths. I've done it once before, but yeah, some of them get in the hot baths and then they wrap up, don't they, and then sweat. But I'm sort of over the training camp. My weight will just come down naturally, and then
Yeah, you're working hard
from
enough, you
there.
get to 200. So I'm just curious because I don't know a lot about boxing. What is the weight class below 200?
So it's light heavyweight.
And what
So that's
weight's that?
12 stone 7. Try to weight that pound. Um, I'm not too sure in pounds.
Yeah, I just know like those
I'd
MMA
have to.
guys, like they'll get crazy trying to drop a weight class, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to
No.
drop down to that light heavyweight. It's 12 stone 7 up to 40, 14.4 is the limit for cruiserweight, so it's a big difference.
Okay.
And there has been talks about putting weight and a new weight in between, but yeah, and then obviously above cruiserweight is heavyweight. They're all 17 stone nowadays is quite light for a heavyweight, so it's like jumping up. Obviously, the fight with Josie Parker, I think he weighed in at 17 stone something, and he's quite small for a heavyweight. The Tyson Furies and your Joshua's are sort of 18 and a half stone, 19 stone plus. So the big monsters.
Right. And then you'd have to be real a lot quicker than the big monsters, right?
Yeah,
So then
hella true.
I'm curious about a lot of things. I saw that fight a year ago. It was a decision loss, but
Yeah,
beforehand you were saying this is a fight of a lifetime. If I can win this, it's going to change my life.
yeah.
But you did move up to heavyweight. So how do you make those decisions? Is that the first time you move up to heavyweight? And like how does that all go that you take that fight up a class against that guy?
Yeah. So we just got the fight offered us. Yeah, so that got offered. It came through, and we only had about 6 or 5 weeks to prepare for it. But I wasn't too. I was still training a little bit at the time, so it wasn't too bad. But obviously, it was a huge name in the boxing world, and
A big
it was a
opportunity.
big opportunity and good money. It was just too hard to turn down. So
Hmm.
we took that fight and didn't do too bad.
No. Yeah, it didn't look like it.
Yeah,
That one was in Manchester, your hometown.
yeah, yeah, Manchester Arena. Yeah, so I mean that's quite special
It would
fighting
be.
at the Manchester Arena because I think that was my fourth fight there, but that's where I used to go and watch Manchester Storm when I was a kid.
When they're in the big
Yeah,
barn.
yeah, when it was the MEN Arena. So that was quite special for fighting there for the first time, and going behind the scenes and seeing obviously the change rooms where the Storm will be, and seeing where all the celebrities over the past and singers and gigs and stuff have been in the dressing room. So it's quite special.
It's funny listening to you talk because it's like people are talking about you like that, right? Like they want to go in those locker rooms like this is where Jack Massey was, But
Hopefully.
it's true. um, so what you've had quite a few knockouts. I'd say about half of your wins are knockouts.
Yeah.
It's probably a different feeling knocking a guy out than going to decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You'd rather get the KO. As I said on the other night, you don't get paid for overtime. So you get
No,
paid
you
for how
actually
many.
don't.
No, you get paid for how many rounds it is. Like if people aren't really sort of like boxing people, they'll say because you knocked him out in a minute and summit, do you not get paid as much what you'd be getting if it went the full distance? I said no, you get a set amount, and yeah, it doesn't matter if you knock him out in the first, second, or the last
I would
round.
think it's almost like I know I never had it in my contracts, but there are teams that will give like goal bonuses in hockey, and I would think there could be like knockout bonuses, right?
Yeah, there should be. To be honest,
Yeah, that's
I'll
exciting
message my
shit.
yeah, I need to message my manager because the guys from the boxer promotion. So I got knockout of the night, and Tasha Jonas, who's headlining, she got them fight of the night. So I screenshotted that and sent it into our WhatsApp group, the gym WhatsApp. I said, "Me and you, Tasha, should be getting a bonus for fight of the
That
night." And
definitely. Well, it's like the
KO of the
UFC
night.
does that, right? They get bonuses
Yeah,
for
yeah, definitely,
yeah. Knockout
definitely.
of the night though, that's awesome, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
And I
I'm
saw
happy with that.
on your social media there, you posted some kind of boxing thing, and there was 300,000 views of you knocking that boy out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it was 300,000 on one, and I think it was 500,000 on the other one, where it was like split screen. So yeah,
That's pretty
that's
wild,
great.
eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, that must have been a fun night for you. So
Yeah,
it would have been. So I'm guessing it. I'm thinking out loud again in my shed. It's kind of probably like winning a championship in hockey, where you really buckle down through playoffs, through the last stretch. You're giving her everything you got. You finally get the job done. You probably had a time that night or what?
probably what? Sorry.
Had a time that night? Had a few?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what'd you do
Yeah, I
after
had
a
a
big
few.
win?
Yeah,
What do you do?
yeah. Depends where you are, really. I mean, sometimes it's hard because I've got a lot of fans. It's hard to get in anywhere, so sometimes you have to sort of like book somewhere for an after party. But this
Mhm.
time we just found a bar in Liverpool, had a couple, and then went back to the hotel, got a pizza,
Yeah.
and had a few more.
And you were with your people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's like
celebrating,
winning with your team, right?
celebrating.
And you stay
Yeah,
with your
that's it.
team.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of some of these fans have followed me throughout my whole journey, and it's not cheap for a boxing ticket nowadays, especially back end of January after Christmas. So it's amazing. It's great.
Um, well, I haven't been much of a boxing fan, but you're really turning me into one. So what's next? Like you
Yeah,
had a
you have to
short
come.
fight. Obviously, you want to get probably right back at it, but like it was a year since your last fight.
Yeah, so that was why I was a bit frustrated with the fight. I mean, can't complain with a knockout, but we wanted to get a few more rounds in, just to get rid of the cobwebs a little bit. But we'll get a fight. We'll look towards April time. We'll look, up the rounds. Look for maybe a 10 rounder, and then we can push on for, try and challenge for a big title then,
Yeah,
possibly a world title. So
that would, man. That would be sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you should just go out there and get that done, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be watching. I'll be a big fan over here in my shed. Okay, so what is your diet like though? Like is for me when I was cutting that weight, there was a time after a hernia surgery where I was fat and
Yeah.
depressed and I couldn't do anything for a while and I wasn't eating right and I was like, well, I'm done for the year. I'll cut this weight when it's summertime. And
Yeah.
I did have to do that. And what my trainer told me was I could only eat anything that swims, runs, or flies and above ground vegetables. I wasn't allowed a carb. I wasn't allowed sauce. I wasn't allowed
Oh,
anything.
really?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
fat,
No,
man. He thought I was pregnant.
no carbs. That I mean, no carbs is yeah. That's tough,
Yeah.
especially if you're you're working or whatever.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, but I'm quite lucky really. So mine will usually have. I mean, I'll have my meal prep. So 2 meal preps a day. I'll have food, obviously breakfast, and then I'll have my snacks in between that. So I'll probably be eating 6 times a day. But my meal preps will usually be with chicken or steak or fish with either rice or pasta. So I've got the carbs there as well. So obviously I'm training hard, so I need carbs and to keep my body
Yeah, you need
fueled.
yeah, for sure. I,
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely training harder than I was. Like in your training camps, how long of a day is it?
So it depends what you're doing really. If you're sparring or in the gym or lifting weights. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday are your boxing days. So we're in the boxing gym. So we'll train in the morning. I'll usually be there from 9:30 till 1 o'clock ish, depending on what you're doing really. And then we'll do something either a run at night or swimming or something like that. Or get on a bike. And Tuesdays and Thursdays are sort of like your strength and conditioning days, where they're a little bit easier, but more intense, fast stuff. So you'll do your sprints, either track or swimming sprints, and then you'll do your weights, so your weightlift, strength and conditioning.
Swimming is hard.
Yeah, swimming's really tough. I'm not a bad swimmer to be honest, but yeah, swimming is like
Yeah.
I think it's just about your breathing and yeah, getting into a rhythm of things. You can't sort of like try to. It gets harder the more you try. If you know what I mean. Swimming, you've got
If
to
you
sort of
got
like
bad form in swimming, you can't fix that.
yeah,
Yeah, you're a
yeah.
mess. Yeah. I was in Elmira Aqueduct back in the day. I was on a swim team, but then I never
Oh
swam for a
really?
long
Wow.
time. But then with the knee injuries I had, I was back in the pool, you know, and it was hard.
Yeah, yeah. So swimming's great. Like running's becoming a bit of sort of going out of boxing a little bit nowadays because it obviously it's a lot of pounding on your knees and your shins and your body.
Same
Whereas
with hockey.
swimming,
Same with hockey, man.
yeah,
We used to be
with
runners,
swimming,
not as much anymore.
yeah, I think it's the old school mentality. But swimming, it just takes the pressure off your joints, and you've not got that impact. Obviously, if you're training and sparring, it's your body's getting beat up, so you want to have less impact as possible on them on the easier days.
And then the same, I'm guessing, in boxing is probably like hockey. When I was coming up in hockey, it was all like powerlifting, and we were lifting the heaviest weights. Like you'd think you do in squats, you think your asshole's gonna fall out on the floor. You know, your legs are shaking. You're like, am I gonna slip a disc in my back? Like, what's happening here? And they would make us do it. I when I was in NCAA, they would make us do max lift for like our fitness test, and it was bench press, squats, cleans, like as heavy as you can go, like to see
Yeah.
if you could snap something, you know?
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's quite simple really with my strength work. So it's pretty much just all compound movements. It's either push or pull. So we'll start off with pull ups, but we'll do less reps. So we'll do like six six pull ups, 6 dips, and do that 6 times. So 6 sets of that, and then it'll be your one arm presses, deadlifts, squats. I don't know if you've seen the landmine where you punch, with the barbell, you sort of punch with it. All stuff like that, but it's not too heavy.
Are
I
you talking
mean,
about the barbell where you stand it up and you have weights
yeah,
on
you
it and
stand,
you
yeah,
do this?
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I've seen that.
I'm not sure what the technical term for it is, but
No, I hear you. I
so
was getting ready for my
yeah.
big fights in hockey.
Yeah, I think the heaviest you lift is on the deadlifts, but it's you only sort of go up to your body weight, so it'll be 200. I mean, I got get up to like 200 kg.
And then how many
Um,
times you doing that?
so that'll be six reps, six
Yeah,
times. So
yeah.
just not
You're bringing
not
back memories of when I used to exercise.
yeah. You'll have to get back on it, man.
I don't think so. I laugh enough in my shed. I'm actually lighter than when I played hockey because I'm having more
Yeah.
fun. Okay, so I guess moving on though is one thing I saw you mention is you were like, for fans asking when I'm fighting, it is sometime between 5 and 7 p.m. So that's interesting for me because you got to be ready for when it's your time, but it's not
Yeah.
an exact time. So you're just waiting to see what's going on with that fight before you, and you're kind of getting ready until but then like it could be a knockout before, and then all of a sudden you're going earlier, right?
Yeah. So it's quite hard to gauge sometimes. Like you say, obviously, if the fight before us, I mean, I'm guessing whoever was fighting after me on the show, obviously, I knocked him out in the first round. I bet he was had to get moving a bit quicker,
Yeah, definitely.
getting warmed up. But usually the guys from say on Saturday with Sky, the guys who come in and say, you've got 15 minutes or whatever. So you just make sure you're ready, get your hands wrapped, and then just get nice and loose and nimble, and then sort of chill out until they sort of come and tell you if
So
you've got
then,
half an hour or whatever.
so you're the nice guy. So then when does the switch flip? Is it in the locker room or is it when you're walking out?
A little bit in the locker room, yeah. Little bit when we're on the pads. But I'd say walking out, and as soon as that bell goes, that's
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
switch
It's
properly.
like I agree though. It's the same in hockey. There's the national anthem. You're standing there, the
Yeah,
juices are flowing. There's also like
yeah,
getting dressed. You're putting your equipment on. And like there's a time that you get to the rink, everybody's joking around and having fun, and you're playing two touch, and everybody's like, ha ha, hockey's fun. And then
yeah,
as you get closer to game time, everybody gets quieter, everybody gets more serious, and then come the national anthem, nobody's saying nothing about nothing and just staring at each other.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's go time when they drop the
yeah.
puck, right?
That's it. Everyone just gets into the zone,
I
straight
guess
into
it's
the
not
zone.
that much different, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. No, it really isn't.
That's cool. So here's a random question. What is your walkout song? Do you pick it?
Yeah, I pick it. So the last one was Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop. I've had that a couple of times now. Sometimes AC/DC, Thunderstruck. Quite a few of the songs actually played at Manchester Storm last week.
Yeah, I
What
guess
else?
walkout songs would be similar
Yeah, a
to
few.
hockey songs, right?
Yeah, definitely, because they've got to kick in as well within sort of a couple of minutes. So you can't be stood there, waiting for a song to kick in for
Yeah.
5 minutes. you'll get cold. But yeah, so mixture really.
Okay. Um, Here's a random question. What's your favorite cheat meal when you're not on your diet?
Ooh. Um, it's either gonna be a Chinese, say maybe like a special chow mein or something like that, or an Indian takeaway.
Indian
Um,
takeaway. That stuff makes me
yeah,
smell bad. I can't do that.
it makes everyone smell bad. So yeah, I do like an Italian or a tapas as well. I'm very me and my partner are quite indecisive, so the tapas is always a good one because it's just bits of everything. So it's like it's not one set meal. You can have a bit of your prawns or your patatas bravas or chorizo.
So when this fight just ended and you did just have your training camp, then do you take some family time now? Because you are a
Yeah, so
father, right?
I've had this week off. Yeah, it's nice to just have a week off and just chill and not have that fight at the end of the week. Them sort of fight nerves, and because I'm always very tuned in on the week running up to the fight. I'm not sort of
You're a little
I'm a
different.
bit yeah, a little tetchy, a bit switchy. So yeah, it's just nice to sort of come down and be myself for a bit.
I agree though, is game days, I was a bit different. I mean,
Yeah,
there's practice days where you just wake up and go to practice, but game days are
yeah,
different, and you are kind of switch. And I could see it. Yours are bigger days than you play more hockey games, right? You're fighting sometimes once a year. Like
yeah,
you're going to be switched on more than
yeah,
just game day.
yeah, definitely, yeah. You know, at the end of the day, you're getting in there, someone's trying to take your head off, so you just, yeah, it's almost a bit gladiatorial. It's especially the
Well, it
walkout
is.
and being in the changing rooms, yeah, before the fight, so you can hear the arena when you're in the changing rooms. It makes the hairs stand on the back of your neck a little bit.
That's awesome.
It's funny stuff.
That's when you know you're living, right? Is when the hairs
Yeah,
stand up on
definitely.
your back of your neck. That's like I got the same when I was in Cardiff and they'd sing the Welsh national anthem and we were standing there looking at the other team and I'm with all my brothers and the hair would stand up on my back and the neck like, yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah,
this. Let's play.
yeah,
Okay, let's get into my research team stuff, okay?
yeah,
You had the IBO title and
yes,
somehow you lost it without even fighting for it.
yeah, yeah. So didn't defend it. Didn't end up defending it. So obviously that got stripped from me
How does that
because I'd
work? Why don't
not boxed, not boxed for a year. Won't go into it too much, but we had a bit of few issues with promotion.
Gotcha.
Blah de blah. So yeah, didn't end up
You
boxing
could say the
for
business side of things.
the business side of thing. Yeah, it can be yeah, a little bit
Tricky.
what's the word? Yeah, sometimes. But
Hockey
we're all good
business
now.
side can get tricky too. You know, you think people
Yeah,
are on your team and then all of a sudden they're not on your team and you're like,
yeah,
whoa, wait a second, what?
yeah, that's it. It's yeah, it's very fickle sometimes, isn't it? It's a funny
Well,
world.
it's like in hockey, man, you have agents. And I know for myself when I was a young player, I relied way too much on my agent. I relied
Mm,
on him doing the work for me. I don't know what it's like in the boxing world, but as I got older and I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing, or I'm going to
yeah,
do it myself, you know?
yeah, 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 definitely. But it's I mean, even when I was playing ice hockey with the age, it was like you had some stuff going on where it was like the kid, just kids. Do you know what I mean? It was like sometimes you'd hear about like brown envelopes getting passed about to get the son on the A team and not the B team and stuff like that. It's like
And that is not the way you raise them. They have to earn it.
no,
If they
definitely not.
don't
No,
earn
yeah,
it, then
absolutely.
how are they going to figure anything out in life, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So another thing, I'm going to bring it up because there were articles about it and it brought back memories for me. Was it mentioned, you know, you're going through that time, you were the champ, and then it came to a point where you were working scaffolding for your brother in his
Yeah,
company. And I saw those
yeah,
articles, and what flooded back for me was I did spend my 6 years in Germany. Um, had a good year every year, I thought. And then I didn't get a contract in Germany, and those were the people I knew. I didn't really try too hard to stay in Germany, but I didn't have anything. And I went home for the summer. I had a son. Um, that was my career. I was 7 years into pro or something, and I had continued to do well, and then just nothing was happening. And it was summer, and it was getting to the point where it's like, what is happening? I don't have
mm,
anything on the horizon. And I went and tiled a bathroom for my uncle at his rental house. And I was just tiling a bathroom, working away. I was sad. I was sad of where I was at in
yeah,
life and what was going on. And I got a call while I was tiling from Denmark, and it was a coach that wanted me. And I was like, this is it just changed my whole spirit. It changed everything
yeah,
about me. You know what I mean? And then I saw those articles about you scaffolding, and it brought back the tiling memory. You
yeah.
know?
I mean, like, yeah, life works in funny ways, doesn't it? I mean, that was after I won the IBO world title, and you'd think after that it was all, all upwards. And next minute, I'm, having to scrape money together, working on the scaffolding. Um, in the middle of winter, picking them freezing cold tubes up.
And you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, and then the similar thing. I got a phone call from a manager, Got the fight offered to me for the Joseph Parker fight, and it was life-changing money and massive opportunity, and just things can just life's funny sometimes like that. I think
Yeah.
sometimes it just reminds you that you're always one step away from just everything, just that rug being pulled from underneath you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you can't take anything for granted.
you
Never
can't,
take anything
and
for
you're
granted.
not invincible, right? And it's like,
No, no,
yeah. I when I was in Germany, I got like yours is different. You were the champion. I don't know what goes on there, and I know you said it was tricky, but like for
yeah,
me, I got too comfortable with what I had, too comfortable with how I was playing and how I thought the league I could do what I needed to do, and I wasn't as fit as I should be, and I wasn't running as much of a muck as I should be, you know?
yeah,
But you were the champion, and that just seems strange that a world
yeah,
champion boxer is scaffolding because and it's like, well, you got to book these fights, and it's like somebody's got to put on these events, and somebody's got to organize it, and then you got to line up who's fighting, and there's a lot of
yeah,
boxers out there, isn't there?
yeah. That's it. Yeah. So it was, it was a bit of a funny one. It was, but you learn from it and you move on.
Yeah, and now you're on the way back up,
Absolutely, yeah,
and you
yeah.
just ran amok,
Back
and
on the
there's
winners.
millions of people seeing you run amok. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm curious when your next fight will be, you know? Um, Other small world is I won the Challenge Cup in the Sheffield Arena.
Oh yeah.
You won the IBF European title in the same arena?
So this was like sort of COVID time. So it was next to I call it the Sheffield Hallam. Um, I don't know what it's called nowadays, but it was actually in the car park. So it was all set up with like the big scaffolding sort of things, and it was
It was
actually
an
in the
outdoor
ring.
fight
It
because
was
you
an
couldn't be
outdoor event.
indoors.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It was an outdoor event because
that
it
would
was
have been
sort of
fun.
like COVID time. So yeah,
Yeah. Did everybody
it was
stand
something
6 feet
different.
apart?
Yeah, something different.
Yeah,
But obviously, you've got Sheffield Hallam there, and I Sheffield where I used to play. It was it's quite funny.
it's a small world. So why were you
Yeah.
playing for Sheffield, not Manchester growing up?
So I think it was I did when I started So as I said before, I started off playing roller hockey for Glossopdale Devils. And then some of them guys were into the ice hockey as well. And I think it was an Easter. I think it was an Easter holiday or summer holiday thing in Sheffield where you could go down for 6 weeks or 4 weeks and try out. Um, and this was at Sheffield. What was the Queens Road, the old place? I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah, I
The
don't know
old,
Sheffield that well. I just know that there's the big barn and then the old barn. I've played in both of them. That's all I know.
yeah, it'd be the old one on Queens Road. Yeah, really old place, like proper,
Well,
like
this
some
one,
out of
the
slap
Ice
shop.
Sheffield or whatever, that's like right next to the big one is the one I played
Oh
again.
no, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really really old one.
My German
It's
team
not.
came over to play the Sheffield Steelers, small world, and
Oh.
yeah, we ran amok.
Well, yeah. So went to this Easter holiday thing or summer holiday, whatever it was, and then I think if you did well, you get picked for Sheffield, and then sort of went from there. But I think Sheffield,
Wow.
my parents are from. It's a little town called Chapel Frith, which is about an hour to Manchester, 50 minutes to Manchester, and about an hour and 10 minutes to Sheffield.
Okay.
But it was always easier to get to Sheffield, just there's just less traffic and stuff. So I think that played a part as well.
Right.
So
I was just curious. But you knocked out in that outdoor fight an engine Kara Kaplan. So how'd that
yeah,
knockout go? What'd you do in that one?
yeah, that was also a surprising one because he was a tough guy as well, and just caught him good, and yeah, can't say too much. He just went down.
With one punch then? What? Yeah.
I can't remember what round it was now. Not
I
too
think it was
sure.
I think I got a research team. I think it was the fourth.
Yeah, you'll probably know more than me. I'm just like on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah, I'm the same though. I'm always on to the next too. It's for
Yeah,
me when I started this, man, and every guy that came on, I would get so invested in it and so into it that like I felt bad moving on. Now I just move
yeah,
on. You know?
yeah. That's it.
I'm having too much fun
Next.
to not. Um,
Yeah.
so how long did you play hockey? When did you shut her down?
So I played from the age I was around 6, 7, and then I stopped playing when I was around 14.
Was it because
But yeah,
boxing got too serious?
yeah. So I started boxing, um, 12, 13, and it was sort of you couldn't do both. It was the boxing was in Buxton, not far from where I lived, and obviously the hockey was there was Sheffield. So it was sort of like one or the other.
Yeah.
And I just fell in. Obviously, boxing was new and fell in love with that. And
I
yeah,
always
so
say people usually want to do what they're better at, right? You seem pretty good at boxing.
yeah. I wasn't a bad player to be honest, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, I do miss it. I miss it. It's
So
I
you
think
were
hockey's
you were
one
a
of them.
big right-handed player. Were you a forward or a D man?
No, I was a D man.
I
D
thought
man. I've
so.
always been. Yeah, I've always been big. So
Yeah, big D man that would clear the net. I wouldn't want to go near the net
yeah.
if you were in front of it.
Yeah, it's good fun, but hockey's one of them. Is once you stop, you just stops. Do you know what I mean? If you stop playing football or boxing, you can still have a kick about, or you can still go into a boxing gym and hit a few bags or whatever. But hockey, it's like you can still go on a public skate rink, but you're in plastic boots, and yeah, you don't get to you can't take a stick and hit a puck around, or else you're gonna end up hurting someone.
Yeah, that's true though.
But I
You
believe,
yeah, to
yeah,
actually play, you need people to play with because you can't go out to
yeah,
public skate with a stick and a puck.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
people
I
are
think
usually out
Storm are
on
going to invite
penguins
me
and
down.
plastic skates, right?
Push him on them penguins. But yeah, I think Storm have invited me down. Going to invite me down to one of the training days. So that's a dream come true if they let me on the ice and just hit a puck for. I
Oh,
mean, it's been
they're gonna let you. We're gonna make this
yeah, it's
happen.
been a long
Yeah.
time. It's been
Oh
like
yeah.
16 years since I hit a puck. So
Oh, that
can't
man,
expect it to
that'd be
go.
fun for the players too. And hockey's supposed to be fun, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still hope that they send me Critchlow's Pride jersey because I don't know if you're aware, but I had Zach Sullivan on about a
Yes, I
week
listened to that
ago.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we asked for crunchies for Adam, and that happened. Adam got like 20 to 30 crunchies, and there was a storm of chocolate. And that's a hockey memory that we've made, and it's a neat tradition because I never played for Manchester, didn't have any ties to them until I got to know guys that were awesome dudes.
Yeah,
And now we've made this happen. And all I want is the Pride Critchlow jersey hanging right back there. You know, that's all I
that's
want.
where you want it. Yeah, definitely.
And
That'd be good.
you want to go to
That'd be good.
practice. That's all we want.
Yeah.
Right? That's not too much to ask, I don't think. But I will pay
No,
you back,
no.
Manchester, for the sponsorship. I promise. There's a raffle coming soon at aleshockeytales.com for another two Ales and Hockey Tales jersey, folks. Buy your raffle tickets and I'll pay the Manchester Storm back someday. Right?
You're not paid up yet.
Who is the toughest fight you've ever fought?
I've got to say Joe Parker, the one at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. My I don't
How
know if
many
you've seen the
rounds was
pictures
that?
of that was 10 rounds.
Oof.
10 rounds. Yeah, it was a tough fight, but one I enjoyed the most as well. To stick out 10 rounds and get some good shots off myself. On someone like that, he's moved on and he beat Deontay Wilder and the American, and yeah, it's a great experience. But
No.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of my face afterwards. It was I look like Quagmire out of Family Guy.
But it is fun to test yourself against the best, right? Like
Yeah, definitely.
it's fun to see how far you can dig down deep, how hard you can give her, and like that you testing yourself is fun.
That's it. Yeah, it's definitely. I suppose it's like the goons in it or the enforcers. They're not going to want to fight the smallest and weakest guy in the team. They want the other big guy, don't they? So it's
But it's also, you got to believe in yourself, right?
challenge.
Like you got to
Yeah.
believe that you can do it. And it's like, for me, I knew I couldn't fight big guys, but for me, it was like, well, can I
Outskill them.
can I take this hit on one leg and then spin and hit the guy that's open in front of the net, you know? And it would be like, I think I can do this. Come hit me, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit you back, spin, and try and pass it, you know?
yeah.
You gotta challenge yourself.
Yeah, that's it. There's always a way.
Okay, poster picks brought to you by Freeman Designs, my poster maker guy in Cardiff, Wales. You were number 19 in hockey. What was there a
Yeah, number
reason for that?
19. I don't think there was. No, I was I think I started off at number 25 and then number 19. But I've always sort of kept them numbers as a lucky number. I've always, yeah, which is funny.
It's
Yeah, but
interesting because I didn't know if you had any lucky numbers, because based off your email address, I didn't think you did.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm not that sort of. I'm not really superstitious or anything like that. Number
Yeah.
5, my house number. 12, my birthday, and my daughter's, and yeah, sometimes maybe if I'm putting the lottery on
How
or
old's your
picking a horse
daughter?
at the. She's just over 7 months.
Oh,
So
you're
yeah,
fresh,
all
eh?
fun and
You're
games.
still getting shit
Yeah,
and pissed on.
yeah, literally.
Fun times.
Yeah, fun and games, fun and games.
Well, if I could say
But
anything, man, it goes by way too fast. You know,
yeah,
when I was a hockey player, it seems like just yesterday, but my daughter was born in Cardiff and my son was born in Germany. And shit, now I'm coaching under 13 boys, you know? Weird.
yeah, I bet it's gone too fast already, to be honest. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
hear you.
so it needs to slow down.
Poster pick still. Storm jersey. That looks like an old one, not a new one.
That's an old one. Yeah, I was quite surprised. So I managed to rustle that out of my mum and dad's attic loft when I went just before Storm invited me. So I thought I'll go and try and find the old Storm jerseys, and I had a white one which was signed. I can't remember who signed it now, but I couldn't find that one. But I managed to find that one. I tried squeezing in it, but yeah, it was no chances.
Yeah, you got a bit bigger now, eh?
No chance, no chance.
If you
But
look at that jersey, I'm just curious who the sponsor is on the top right, because it looks like two gals sitting back
I
to
think
back.
it's maybe was it JJB? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like
Was
a
it?
strange logo for a hockey jersey. It's different than the two
Yeah, I
L's
think.
and hockey tails logo.
No, I don't think it is JJB. I think it's.
It looks like
Uh,
it looks like it could be for like a strip club.
possibly, possibly,
um,
possibly.
so next poster pick was when you were a hockey player, you were on a team with red jerseys. Is that Sheffield? Because I would have thought they'd be orange.
No, so that was when I went did the 6 week thing. What I was telling you about before. I think it was that.
Mm,
Yeah, that was when it was down at Queens Road, the old place.
okay.
Yeah, that was then. So it was like we split up, all split up into different teams, and to get through these trials or whatever. So I was on the red team.
Okay. So it was just, yeah, different teams, different jerseys. Well, okay, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Next poster pick, love this one. It is you strutting away with the guy laying on the ground. That is it, like just how business you were, and you're walking away like I just did my job, you know?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit like yeah.
Good
I
picture.
think it looks a bit boasty. It looks a little bit, but I think it's just yeah.
Well,
I didn't actually know the ref had waved it off. I walked back to the corner and my trainer said, "Oh, it's over." I was like, I looked around, I was like, "Oh, okay."
oh, you thought they were gonna give him the 10 seconds.
Yeah, possibly, yeah, but it was a big shot, the last one, so yeah, he would have
Yeah.
struggled.
Yeah, I think it was done. Anyways, what's neat for me though is I get these poster pics sent to me, and there's that one. I can't see the crowd, but I can just picture what the faces and what everybody's doing in the crowd, because I get sent these hockey photos of a guy scoring at home and everybody's like
Yeah.
hands are up screaming, but then you see
Yeah.
them, there's a picture of them scoring on the road and all the fans like look so sad. But when you do that, man, the fans must have gone wild.
Yeah, definitely it erupts. It definitely erupts, and it's funny because, I mean, in the fight, because your concentration levels are so tuned in, it's weird because you pick certain voices out. So like my mum or my dad or my partner, you'll
And you can hear
pick
them.
that voice. Yeah, you'll pick them, and I think after that knockout, all I could hear was my mum shouting, "Wow, wow!" I don't know why I said wow. I think it's like nerves
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
cool though. That's
Yeah,
cool. Because for me, it was when my people were there to watch me, I would always look to see where they are, right? I wanted to know where
yeah,
they were in the crowd. And
yeah, definitely.
the weirdest part for me, I would say, I've thought about this, was when I went pro and my parents had been to like every hockey game I'd pretty well ever played in college, other than when we go to like Alaska and the places that were too far. They would go every weekend, no matter where it was. And then you get to pro and you're playing 70 something games all over the world. It's like they can't come anymore. And it was weird
Yeah,
for me when I had to start playing without them there, you know?
yeah, I bet. So my all my fights have been in the UK, so it's been quite lucky. I think probably the furthest is probably down in London. So, and quite a lot of fans follow me down there. But I bet like fighting abroad, and so obviously my parents should be able to make it, and my partner. But yeah, I can imagine it's quite tough. But sometimes I like going against the home crowd where it's all their fans. It's
Oh yeah. Like
it
Rocky.
definitely cheers me up a bit more. I think, but like the fight in London, that was literally all for him, and it was like walking out, and they were all sort of cheering for him and booing me a little bit. I was like, yeah, you watch boo,
Yeah,
you won't be booed.
watch this.
So
I
yeah,
love that shit.
quite like that.
Um, so last poster pick is, or no, there's two more. I got a question. Is one fight you're in red shorts, the next fight you're in yellow shorts. Who is picking out your boxing shorts for these fights? Is it to make your eyes pop, make you look mean, or what is it?
Pretty much. So the yellow one. So this is my first fight with my new trainer called Joe Gallagher, and we're training out of a gym in Manchester in Moss Side called Champs Camp, and their colours are yellow and red. Um, Similar to the old Kronk. I don't know if you into your boxing, the old Kronk shorts, so like your Thomas Hearns used to wear yellow. So it's similar to that. So our team and will now be sort of mostly in yellow for the fights. But before that, it's whatever color you like. So the person designing the shorts will make like a design it and say, oh, what about this color? This looks good. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
So you
So
get to decide then, and then once
yeah,
then you're on a new team and that's their colors and you want to support
yeah.
them. I get it.
So maybe next one I get some storm colors on
Right?
there.
You should put a two ales and
That'll be
hockey
good.
tails logo on
That'll be good.
it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll
Oh
go for the
man,
orange and white.
I'd imagine sponsoring you would be way too expensive. I can't even pay the store back.
We could work something out. We could work something out.
Oh man, that's good stuff. So how did you get into boxing? So like you're playing hockey, you're like a hockey guy coming up, but then
Yeah,
what got you into the gym? How did you start?
I think it was through hockey. So because Sheffield was about an hour and 10 minutes away from where we live, um, we couldn't get down to training. I think training was twice or three times a week, and we couldn't get down there every day. So I think one of the coaches says, "Oh, why don't you do something for a bit of fitness training, maybe boxing or something like that?" And yeah, me and my brother went to a boxing gym, and then we sort of both fell in love with boxing.
And then you caught the bug.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got a brother too then. What's his name?
Daniel Massey.
Yeah.
So he played hockey as well. He played a little bit longer than me. I think he played up until he was about 17. He could fight as well. He liked to fight on the ice. I mean, I was quite young when I finished, so it was sort of still fighting with the cages on and just messing around as kids. But yeah, my brother was I can remember
He got
once.
to
I
the
think,
point where he was really fighting on the ice, where
yeah, if there
there's
was
kids
like
that
more
knew
than
what to
two
do.
fights,
They'd rip the helmet off, and then you really can
yeah,
get a guy, right?
yeah, they used to send my brother on literally like
Just to
there's a,
fight.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, those guys at hockey exist.
yeah, yeah. He loved it. He loved it.
Ah,
Yeah,
and he's the guy that runs the scaffolding business then.
yes,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah,
doing all right then.
yeah. It's not his business. He works for someone, but he's sort of like head of it.
I
So
gotcha.
yeah,
Um, so here's one for you. There is a lot of time between fights. And those are your paydays, right? Though that's when you get paid. I did
yeah,
see that you had a huge fight lined up one time and then you got injured and couldn't fight, right?
yeah.
So then the
Quite a lot.
payday doesn't come and then
No,
the fight doesn't happen and then
yeah,
you had injuries are the worst, aren't they?
yeah. Terrible. I've had loads over the past. I've had you name it, ruptured bicep. My nose has been quite bad in the past. I used to get cut. It's not been too bad actually recently, but I've had it cut here. You probably, if you go on my Instagram and scroll down, there's a video of it, and it's right on the bone there. So it literally kept opening. But it must have opened like 7 times. But it's never opened in a fight, which is weird. It's always been sparring, so it's been before a fight, and you've had to pull out of the fight because of the cut.
So
It's a
you
bit,
can't start a fight because you're cut.
yeah, basically, yeah. So the doctor checks you over before you fight, make sure you're fit to fight. But if you've got, if you've got quite a bad cut, you're not allowed to fight.
Even if it's on your nose, like it's not going to go in your eyes. What? Like, because you're going to
Yeah,
get cut
yeah.
fighting.
Well, yeah, but it's obviously the cut's already there, so it's just the damage is done.
Really? I
So
would have thought you could still
yeah,
fight as long as it's not going to go in your eyes or whatever.
no, no, it's a funny one.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I've
Learn
had
something new every day.
operations on my hands and all sorts. Yeah, I've had to pull out of quite a few fights, so it's occupational hazards, but part and parcel of the game. But yeah, obviously sometimes in the big fights, it's you don't get paid and it's tough.
And so for me, I would say my downest times in life were the times I was a hockey player and was injured. I wasn't part of the team. I didn't get to do what I loved. I was missing games. You don't get to go on the road with the boys.
Yeah,
Your life is different than it normally is. Like, how was your
yeah.
mental side of it when those things happen?
I think sometimes obviously depending on what the injury is, sometimes it helps just to do something. So if you've hurt your hand, you can still go for a run, or you can still get on a bike, or you can still swim, or whatever it is. I think sometimes you just got to
Going.
keep yourself motivated and stay in the gym. I think that's
Yeah.
the main thing. Yeah. So I can remember when I ruptured my bicep. That was quite a horrible one. That was before the British title fight, and I literally couldn't straighten my arm. It sort of locked in a 90-degree angle,
Ah,
and me and my partner went on holiday to Abersock. One of my sponsors has got a chalet down there, and they had a jet ski. They said, "Oh, we'll let you have a go at the jet ski." So me, I went out on the jet ski, but
you tore
ended
your
up I don't know.
bicep on a jet ski?
Yeah, but my arm was sort of like half bent, so it was okay. You're just using your thumb, aren't you? But um, I don't know how anyone can fall off a jet ski, but I fell off a jet ski. But obviously, with my arm being like that, I couldn't get back on it. So
So did you
that was a
rupture
funny
the
story.
bicep jet skiing or it was already
No,
ruptured?
no. I ruptured it sparring.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah,
was gonna
sparring.
say you didn't get hurt jet skiing because
Yeah,
I've heard of hockey players getting hurt water skiing,
yeah,
jumping in a lake and they did something wrong. Like, man, it changes your life getting injured. It really does. Like,
yeah.
I hobble around all the time now,
Yeah, you get to that age. But yeah, I did it previous sparring. I went to throw a right hook. The guy was sparring, it was a guy called Hughie Fury, heavyweight. He's Tyson's cousin. He sort of put his elbow out, and his elbow went right into my bicep and tore it. But yeah, it was sort of recovering when I was on the jet ski, but it was still locked in like a 90-degree
So you got stuck in the
position.
water and you couldn't get out. So how'd you get out of that situation?
Basically, swam back, so I wasn't actually too far. So
With
which
one
was
arm?
Well, with my legs on my back. That's quite a funny story.
It
Yeah.
is. So, somebody had to go retrieve the jet ski then?
Yeah. Well, no, my girlfriend was there, so she could get back on it. But when I fell off, she shouted that there was a jellyfish in the water. I was swimming as fast as I could.
Where was this? There's a jellyfish?
Yeah, that was like Abersock, Wales, Abersock.
There's jelly. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, there is. Okay.
yeah, the
I
big
was
like
thinking
them
like
big.
down South Caribbean because I got stuck in a jellyfish situation one day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're not
Which I'll
nice.
I'll tell my story. Some guy told me I need to talk less on my own podcast, and you know what? Go fly a kite. I can talk about whatever I want, right?
Yeah,
You know,
it's your podcast.
listen to me if you
Your
want. You
podcast.
know, I don't give a shit. We were in Panama as a family when I was a teenager, and
Yeah,
we all go snorkeling, and then we're around this little island. So I go around the island to go do my own thing because that's what I do. And then it was time to leave, and I come around this island, and there were tiny little jellyfishes. Like, I mean, millions of these little flipping things. And I didn't know what to do because I couldn't go all the way back around the island because it was time to leave and the boat was just up ahead. I had to
yeah.
swim through the little bitches.
Oh,
And man, it hurt so much. I was like, and I just had to keep going until I got through it, you know?
tell me this: did someone pee? Did someone have to pee on you?
Well, they were so little. It was just it was like they were everywhere and they were stinging me all over. And but they were so little that it wasn't like the full one that no one peed
Yeah.
on me, you know. But fun story is I have drank pee.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
My college roommate, we didn't have a bathroom in our dorm room. You'd have to walk down the hallway. I woke up hungover one night, start of the year when we first get there, and I saw a Gatorade bottle on the desk, and I thought, geez, I'm gonna slam that thing. I grabbed it and and took a big gulp, and that was not the yellow Gatorade I was anticipating. That
That was
was
a bit
pee.
salty.
It was actually the grossest thing ever. Yeah, threw up for
Oh,
every time I thought of it for a long time after, I
not
would.
nice. Not nice. I think that's actually a myth though about the peeing on jellyfish thing.
I think people
Because
just want to pee on people, right? And they make it up.
yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, it happened to me in Ibiza. I got stung right on my thigh, and one of the locals said just went and chopped a bit of aloe vera. There's an aloe vera plant near the beach. She just went and got a bit of aloe vera, and that worked.
Yeah, aloe
But yeah,
vera
I'm
makes
not
more
sure about
sense than
someone.
urine.
Yeah, I'm not sure about someone peeing on my leg.
Oh gosh. Last poster pick though is you flexing with the belt. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be an unreal feeling to put on a belt and get to
Oh yeah.
flex, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's that was a good night. That was a really good night winning that title. It should have gone on. Upwards after that, but no, it was a great night, and
Things got tricky, but winning was
yeah,
fun.
yeah, definitely. And we've still got that belt, even though I don't hold the title anymore. I've still got the belt, and
So do you
that
get to
was,
keep the belt and they make a new one?
yeah, yeah, you get to keep them. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So how many do you have?
I've got so the smaller ones what you mentioned before. So I'll have two, three. So
See,
I'll have
for me, I
five
don't think any
five
championship's
belts.
small, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got five belts. Five.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I think
Yeah.
I, I'm just looking on my wall here. I would say I got about the same in hockey, and it's no different, man. When you win
No.
something, when you beat the other team or person, it's like
Yeah.
we both put in everything we got into this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we won, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So,
It's
well, I just random question though is when you win there and you go back to the hotel and you have your pizza, who
have a
is
party.
who's your team? Who are your people? You got like a manager, you got your
Yeah.
partner,
Yeah.
you do you have like teammates, sparring partners? Who's there?
Yeah. So teammates, people who you train with, partner, mum and dad. My like I said about my old man loves a drink, so he's always there with my mum and coach, manager, and fans as well. So yeah, it's party time.
Yeah. So I feel like me and your old man would really hit it off.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about my old man. When we went to Holland playing ice hockey, and I think we used to go to Holland every year. I can't remember whereabouts it was. I think it was a place called Galeen. I think they pronounce it Galeen or Tilburg, one of them places.
The Tilburg
And
Trappers, that's a hockey team. Yeah.
yeah, and we was in a bar, and obviously my dad had a few pints, and he said to his mate, a guy called John Nell from Sheffield, there was a pair of clogs screwed to the ceiling, and he just turned to his mate and says, "What size do you reckon they are?" And he said, "They look like they fit you, Mass." So he got two guys to pick him upside down, put his feet in the clogs and hung upside down. I think he had a pint hung upside down. So he was literally, yeah, he was like the
They could
mascot.
actually get him up there that he could get his feet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh man,
he's
that
quite thin, my dad. He's thin but tall. So he was one of the guys in rugby, you lift up to catch the ball.
to
So
catch the
you
ball.
can, yeah, you can lift him quite easily. But yeah, he was like the ice hockey parents' mascot. He'd just do all the daft stuff.
Well, and somebody needs to get the fun going, right? Somebody needs
Oh
to
yeah,
make
definitely.
every situation fun. It's like if
Yeah.
nobody gets it going, it's not that much fun, right?
No.
When I was
Yeah.
coaching under 9 girls last season, the my daughter's team, and it was our first game of the season, and well, she's a rugby player, the mom. She was a rugby player
Right.
in the UK, and the old man is from the UK, and they've moved
Yeah.
here, and they weren't hockey people. They didn't know anything about it, but their daughter's playing her first game for me. And
Yeah.
about damn time came on the Lizzo song. I don't know if you know it,
Oh yeah.
but it comes on in the locker room when all these people are just getting to know each other. Well, this mom starts dancing like in front of all the parents, in front of the kids, and she starts breaking it down before the game, and it changed the whole mood. It changed everybody. Everybody all of a sudden was like, "Well, if she can do that, I can be
Yeah.
myself and have fun, right?"
Yeah. You need someone like that. It's an icebreaker, isn't it?
It
Definitely a
is.
good icebreaker. Yeah, you need people like that, especially in team sports, and you've always got to have your joker and your. But you've also got to have someone serious as well. It's when it's time to knuckle down and say, right, come on, guys.
I totally agree. I
Yeah,
try to be both. I try to be the fun guy, but then when it's go time, you know?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I'm
Oh
not.
man.
I'm just a prankster. Just a prankster.
Prankster,
I can
but
remember.
you're ready to rock whenever it's go
Yeah,
time.
I can remember one time we were playing. I can't remember the name of the guy I used to play with now, and we was only training, but me and a couple of other lads grabbed his boots before the game, and we put I can't remember what the clear tape was called. It was not sellotape, but it was like the clear tape you used to use
Your
around your boot.
socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we just put it on the edge of it, on the bottom of his blade, so he didn't notice. And he got he got on the ice for training. He was all over the shop. Me and the lads
He'd
were
be
just
wondering
laughing.
what the hell's going on. Eh? Yeah, there is a lot of pranks in the hockey world.
Yeah,
Is there as many
yeah.
in the boxing world?
There is actually, yeah. Especially in the change rooms and stuff. It's not before fights, but in training, yeah. There's
How
always
so you go to this gym in Manchester, and obviously it's a kind of like, it's like anywhere in hockey, it's like a factory of boxers. So how many guys are
yeah.
going there, and how many guys are trying to be the next you?
So there's quite a lot of prospects in there. So young up and coming guys. There's probably altogether boxers. There's probably I'll say 13, 14. But you've got a bit of a mix. You've got quite a few prospects, but then you've got Tasha Jonas, who headlined the fight on Saturday. What I was on, so she's a world champion. She's been in the game a long time, and yeah, there's just sort of guys verging on that sort of level, then world level guys sort of verging on British level, and then you've got your prospects who are just starting out. So
You got all the
quite a
guys at
mixture.
different levels, and everybody's
Yeah,
there in
yeah.
it
So
in it
everyone,
to win it.
yeah, everyone's pushing each other, and you got younger guys looking up to sort of us guys, and seeing how things work, and I think,
It's just like hockey.
oh, yeah, definitely, definitely.
It is. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. The other thing I got was I know you took that one fight in 5 to 6 weeks notice for heavyweight against the big boy, and
Yeah,
it was what you wanted. It was the fight you wanted. What's the shortest notice you've ever taken a fight?
probably that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably that one. Yeah. Um, yeah, that was 6 to 5 weeks. That was probably the shortest one.
And
Yeah.
when you said you've only fought in the UK, I could have sworn the research team saw you fought in Niagara Falls, Canada. Is that not true?
I've
What
been
the
to
heck?
Niagara Falls,
Huh.
but I've not fought
My
there.
research team must have been way off.
No, no.
Oh man. I'm not sure what else I got other than what is your favorite restaurant to go to in the world?
In the world. Ooh, wow.
Tough question, eh?
Um, that is a tough one. Really tough one.
If you could pick a place to go eat tonight where you have been before, where would it be? And what would you eat? I there's a reason why I had to cut weight every summer.
um, that is a tough one. Amber, what's that little tapas place called in Manchester? There's a place in, so you guys are at Manchester. There's the Spanish Quarter in Manchester, just off Deansgate, and there's a really old tapas restaurant. Well, no one knows about it. It's called El Rincon, and it's literally like down a back alley. It's so hard to find, but it's really nice. But you go in there and it's all the Spanish. Yeah, you don't get many Mancunians or in there. It's no one really knows about it. I think we
Well,
only found out about it because my partner's dad used to wash pots there back in the day, probably 80s, 90s when he was younger. So
well,
yeah,
that's pretty good answer. That's pretty
yeah, it's
cool.
nice, nice.
And Manchester people are called Mancunians,
Mancunians,
Mancutians,
Mancunians,
Mancunians.
Mancunians, Mancunians.
I I I saw that somewhere now that I am invested in Manchester.
Yeah, or Manx,
Yeah,
Manx for short, Manx.
that that's a good answer though, and now at least some people will know about it. The chocolate throwing
Yeah,
people around
yeah,
the
yeah,
world.
yeah. Everyone's gonna go and try and find it now.
Yeah, and then you're gonna show up. There's not gonna be any tapas left.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really nice. It's one of them where it's like you get your paella and it comes in like massive,
Oh,
huge dish. Yeah, it's great.
well, that sounds lovely. I don't think I have anything else other than you got any questions for me before we shut her down?
I think we've covered quite a lot there.
Yeah, we have
I know
talked
you. I
for
know
a
you
while.
mentioned. I know you mentioned. I mean, I can't remember the comp. I can remember going to the competition in Germany, but I can't remember what it was actually for when I played hockey. Um, I think you mentioned it on your notes before. I think it was some sort of national competition, but I think LUK sponsored it and Porsche.
Yeah,
But
okay.
yeah,
Now you're
I was just
talking my
racking my
language.
brain.
So that is why I went to Sheffield. Was LUK was the sponsor of both teams. We were
Yes,
both the Steelers. I was the Bietigheim Steelers. We played the Sheffield Steelers, and we both
right.
had LUK on our helmets. And we went and mucked it up, and that was my first taste of the UK league. And when I got to know those guys, and our sponsor was Porsche.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, mad, mad. It's
That's a small world.
yeah. So when we played in that competition, they took us on a tour around like the Porsche. I think it was a Porsche museum. Showed us all like the old
So you were in
racing.
Stuttgart.
I think so.
You sure were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well,
you
I was
probably
young. I
played
mean,
Bietigheim, man. You played Bietigheim. You played where I
yeah.
lived for 4 years. That is the team that came to play Sheffield and was sponsored by LUK was the Bietigheim Steelers. And we came over and played Sheffield, and they had just flown
Right.
in. They had just landed, and we ran amok, but then had a great night out with them and us.
I'm gonna have to reach out to my hockey friends and ask them whereabouts it actually was. But yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like it.
It definitely was, and that's a small
Uh,
world, man.
I mean, I was young. I was probably 12, 13 at the time, so it was a long time ago. And obviously, I get punched in the head for a living, so my memory can be a bit foggy sometimes. Well, that's my excuse anyway.
Well, what is the worst you've been beat up? Have you like I know you had that tough fight there, the last one that went to a decision,
Yeah,
and your face was a mess. Was that the worst it's been?
probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I took a few big shots in that fight, but with guys like Joe Parker that hit that hard because they're that big and heavy and strong. I I have quite a tight guard, so my gloves are literally tight on my face. But a lot of them shots were hitting my gloves, but it was causing
Your
bruising
gloves
to
to
my
hit your
face.
face.
If you know what I mean. So it's like it doesn't matter if you've got your guard up. These guys are just these guys are that strong.
Well, yeah, there are
Yeah,
strong people out there in the world, and
yeah, yeah.
that you're one of the strongest in the world and best at what you do. That is pretty neat that you would make the time to come talk to me in my shed in
I'll take that.
Kincardine, Canada.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
No,
It's been
seriously, it's been great getting to
no,
know
thanks for
you.
reaching out.
And honestly, for me in the world, what I want is the good people to do good. And
Yeah,
when I see you're at the storm shelter and I see you're dropping a puck with two shed guys, Dowdy and
yeah,
Critchlow, that have been to the
yeah.
shed, and I know the people they are, and then I see you standing there and I just reach out not knowing you, and then for somebody to write to me and tell me how great you are and your family is and that you played hockey, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, small world, very small world.
It is,
It's
man. And you
yeah, it's
should
good.
definitely keep doing exactly what you're doing. And I
Thank
think you
you.
should go out and win the world title. And my word, you know what? If you win, I'm gonna get so excited. I'll probably get in one that night too.
Sounds a
Seriously.
plan. Sounds like a plan, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. But yeah, I was going to try and get to Storm this Sunday, but I don't think I'm going to make it. But I'm gonna get there soon. But I'd love to get some of the guys to the boxing gym and do a little boxing session with them and teach them how to throw a punch properly.
I
I
agree. And
know, I know, I know some of the guys can obviously fight, but I think I can't remember which one it was now.
Oulette.
Yeah, he's boxed before, right?
Wow, I've seen this Oulette guy. I saw a picture of him ready to punch a guy in a hockey fight, and I'm like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Someone can fight.
Yeah, I can't. Look at these knockout artists. They're huge. Oh man, but no, like I think the Storm have everything they need. They have a bunch of great
Mhm.
dudes that love hockey and like playing together.
Yeah,
And like they get hockey. I see what they're doing a bit, and I think it's great partnership. You were a hockey player, and like people helping people, it makes people better at what they're doing, makes them more excited to play hockey. It gives them an experience. If you take them to that gym, those guys would love it and they're going to remember it forever, you know? Just
yeah, I'm
like you
sure.
going to practice. People
Yeah,
helping people.
definitely. Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good if we can make that happen.
Yes, definitely. Well, I guess hopefully they send me the Critchlow Pride jersey, right? They're probably
Yeah, that'll
selling
be good.
them. They're
That'll
probably
be,
having raffles or whatever,
yeah,
but they should just
yeah,
send it to me, you know? Because we
yeah.
we earned we
I'm
earned
sure
that
you'll get.
together.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get one. I'm sure you'll get one.
Who knows, right? But I'd love to see you out for practice with the Storm, and I'd love to see them boxing. And fun is fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure we can make it happen.
I
Definitely.
I agree. Well, thank you for making the time, and
No, thank you.
I obviously am now a big boxing fan
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I don't really like I cheer for people. It's the same in hockey. It's like I'm not on a team anymore. I'm always a Cardiff Devil for what they've done for me.
yeah,
But like I'm not on a team anymore. I cheer for people. I'm on the Kincardine
yeah,
Canucks. I'm an under 13 coach, you know?
yeah. That's fair enough. That's
Yeah.
fair enough.
But man,
But yeah, I'm the same.
it's been a great day, and thank you for making my Thursday way better.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
And this has
Thank
been
you very
another
much.
episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with One Smack and Wally.